Welcome to episode 112 of the Nerd Rundown podcast. We kick off this week's big show with some Star Wars retcon wishing and a quick take on Secret Invasion's self-destruction. Looks like Donald Glover is returning to Star Wars in an upcoming Lando series on Disney+. The fellas and I talk about the Heroes in a Half Shell and their final trailer. Mattel is riding high with Barbie and looking to cash in on some of their other big properties. Get ready for a Magic 8-Ball movie, nerds. Finally, on the NRDbox, we get some rapid-fire questions that could have Morgan and I finally agreeing on something. Ready, hit it!
Podcast where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. I'm Darren Stemple.
Greetings, I'm Erik here.
And I'm Morgan Santo.
Thank you for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, then please hit the like button, subscribe button, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our shows. If you're one of our audio-only audience members, you can find us wherever you consume your podcasts. Also, follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, all at the Nerd Rundown. Before we get to the show, let's hear a word about our sponsor, Combat the Chaos. Hey, nerds. You know we love to support our veterans and our first responders here at the Nerd Rundown. That's why we've partnered with Combat the Chaos, a veteran-owned clothing company that donates portions of their profits to organizations that are focused on mental health and suicide prevention, specifically for these brave heroes. Being a veteran myself, and one who's needed help in these areas before, it was important we found a partner we believed in. Veterans are at a 57% higher risk of suicide than those who have not served. When it comes to first responders like the police, firefighters, and EMTs, they have a 10% higher chance than the general population of developing mental health issues like depression and PTSD. If you want to show your support, then visit combatthechaos.com, use our code NRD for 15% off, and select from a variety of amazing hats, shirts, sweaters, and more. We thank you for your help in fighting this battle that first responders and veterans so desperately need. Now, back to the show.
Let me just talk about the upcoming Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zed.
No way.
You brought
no
it
way.
Zed, I got your voucher.
Out!
Guys, I think it's fair to say that we have some detractors about the Star Wars sequel trilogy amongst this panel of hosts. Would you guys agree with that sentiment?
I would.
I thought very strongly agree sounded stronger than totally agree.
Yeah. And if George Lucas came back and said, you know what, here's my plans for what I wanted for a sequel trilogy, would you guys welcome that? What are your feelings on if George Lucas could have done a sequel trilogy?
If we're talking like right now, even though we have this trilogy, I think I'd be 100% okay if Disney came out and said, hey, we're just wiping away that trilogy, it never happened. Okay. And George Lucas is here with a new trilogy. I'd be like, okay, I wouldn't argue it.
Okay. Erik, is that mutual feelings there?
No, I don't think I would want one. I would want to get rid of the one we currently have, and I would not want his either.
Bit spicy.
Oh, good. Okay. I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So let me give a synopsis, because recently George Lucas did an interview or something. The notes came out about his sequel trilogy that he wanted. And he had plot points along the way, or story points along the way. It wasn't necessarily written out. He didn't have scripts even written. So, but the important stuff that we want to know is, first of all, a threat emerges. There is no First Order. There's a power vacuum in the universe, and of course the Hutts and the gangsters are all kind of taking control. But there's also stormtroopers who never wanted to stop being stormtroopers and started their own rebellion, started their own country in the far places of the universe.
Probably Tatooine. Nobody goes there. It's so far out there.
So remote.
And then the big bad is actually, or I would say more of one of the big bads, like the Emperor and Darth Vader, was actually the return of Darth Maul, and how he doesn't start a new empire. He just starts his own army with the stormtroopers, with the Hutts. So he took control. Luke Skywalker has a mission where he wants to rebuild the Jedi Order. There's only about 50 or 100 Jedi left in the galaxy. He put the word out, so he's having to go out and find babies. No mention of Mara Jade.
Bring it. You win. What I need is a true challenge.
Then the OT trilogy was about the son. The prequel trilogy was about the father. This one is actually going to be about the daughter and the grandchildren. So we did get a little bit of that in the new sequel trilogy. Leia is supposed to be the chosen one amongst this group for the sequel trilogy. Erik, pass it off to you because I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on this. And really what would be a good alternative, I guess.
Well, I call bullshit.
Okay, I'm going to say it. Bullshit!
On this whole thing is what I call. This is bullshit.
You heard me. I said bullshit.
He didn't have this plan at the time that he sold Lucasfilm to Star Wars. This is all something that he's thought of over the years or whatever, because you can tell clearly he didn't have that plan because the Clone Wars shit didn't happen and Darth Maul, didn't come back till much, much later on down the road. So it's not like he had this in his mind when he sold Lucasfilm, and
okay.
They didn't do that. So I'll call BS on that part.
Bullshit.
I don't mind the concept. I don't mind the idea, but it's too little too late at this point because Leia's dead, so
can't have it now, right?
You can't have it now. So you can't really talk about that. The fact of the matter is he had a good idea for the first, probably 1 through 6. And then the studio looked at it and because that's what they've said in the previous documentaries, that there was just too much there. And so they decided to start kind of in the middle and finish the series out. And so it was really just, episode 4, 5, and 6. And that was it. That was the end of the thing. There was no 7, 8, 9, and there really wasn't a well fleshed out 1, 2, and 3. Even with the second movie, the people that came in and made it, they made that movie what it was, not because of what George Lucas had done. So he had a great idea, and some really smart people came along and helped move it, because without Empire, I don't think you get a third movie. I really don't. Empire, if you let George Lucas do Empire, I don't think it would have come out the way it came out. So I think Star Wars without George Lucas is fine. There's lots of creative people out there that can expand that universe and have in various different ways. People who like the cartoons.
Ooh, cartoons.
Or I should say the animation. I shouldn't call them cartoons. The animation stuff like the Clone Wars and all that stuff. People like that. There's a creative folks that have built that and done a great job. And like we talked earlier about the, before we did the podcast, we talked about the Timothy Zahn books. There's lots of creative people out there that can expand that universe and do a lot of really great things. Rian Johnson's not one of them. So,
Word.
So that was that was one. And frankly, I didn't like the prequel trilogy all that much either until we got maybe to the third one, I guess. I liked that one, but even then one I didn't really think was all that great. I think the only saving grace in both the first movie and the third movie are the big lightsaber battles, that take place. So
time has been the prequel's best friend. People have forgotten a lot.
Time and this trilogy that came out have been the prequel's best friends.
It's how much worse can things get around here?
They can get much, much worse.
I will say I'm a little upset there's nothing in the notes about Jar Jar's rise to power in as a Sith Lord in the sequel trilogy, though, because that's what we really need.
Say something nice about Jar Jar Binks.
Poor Jar Jar. Ahmed Best was actually in the news recently, and he was talking about how he wanted to commit suicide because he got so much flack, which is so sad. Come on now.
It is. I know. It's
be better. Honestly, they have the best sequel trilogy is somewhat being developed right now, or at least adapted. And you just mentioned it. Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. Well, that's the first book. The Thrawn trilogy is really that would be the freaking best. Too little, too late, like you said, Erik. But that would be the best sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And Mara Jade needs to. We need
some character.
We need some Mara Jade
for sure.
She really is a great character. She's everything you want in a strong female character.
Yeah.
All right, go read the plot points of this George Lucas sequel trilogy. It's really fascinating to see or start to imagine the possibilities and just how Disney is really just hurting these properties that we love, because even Secret Invasion just ended, and we talked about it after the first 2 or 3 episodes, I believe, Morg, on the show a few weeks back. You were spot on from the beginning, so good job calling it from the beginning. Secret Invasion, not good. It started strong, and it got so bad that I can't even remember what the good was.
There was some good action in the 3rd episode. I didn't mind the car chase. Like, that must be where the $225 million budget went. I don't know. Yes. I don't know where the hell the budget went. But Sam Jackson, I don't know.
Sam Jackson's wonky eye. 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, 55% audience score. That might be the first time I've seen people just.
Is it the lowest for the Disney?
It's the lowest rated TV show. Yep. Not the lowest rated Marvel property, I don't believe, but lowest rated Disney Plus. The final episode on Rotten Tomatoes is at 7%.
The problem with that one is, again, we've been seeing this marketing trend where marketing is really proposing something different than what's coming with some of this stuff. And, they pitched it as like, yeah, this is going to be like a morally gray show, a great spy thriller. And then you get it. It's like, no, like they want to nuke Earth. There's no gray to that. That's wrong. That's bad. Like it just made no sense. Like, and the spy thriller, there was no real spy thrillerish to it that I thought that hooked me.
Yeah.
There was no cool real good dialogue other than Sam and Jackson and his wife. There was some good stuff there when some things are revealed, and it's just so upsetting. And some of the twists, it's like, obviously, come on, some things didn't make sense. Like, I can't say too much without ruining. I don't know what we're gonna do here, but upsetting. Like Emilia Clarke getting the powers, or she was reading the mind of the human they kidnapped, and somehow that human knew how to make the superpowers for the Skrulls, but the Skrulls were the ones that were working on it, not the humans. So I was like, what? I don't understand. I was so confused. And then they trash on Nick Fury the whole time, man. He was like, Nick Fury was a guy that would take a bullet to save the president, to this show being like, I'm not going to let you get to the president. And Rose being like, yeah, you are. And it was like,
language.
All right. I walked out of the hospital. He's like, yeah, you got me. See ya.
There was nothing good that came from that show. And it just raises more questions, and it ruins some character arcs, really. I mean, makes some character moments, I guess, obsolete. And
the worst part was the conversation with the Skrull best friend there, Nick Fury's buddy.
Talos. Yeah.
Talos, thank you. Yeah, the dialogue between them when he basically tells Fury that Fury never achieved anything on his own. The Skrulls did everything for him. And I was like, really? Like, that's where we're going with this? That nothing Nick did? Nothing really matters. That he was just a pencil pusher at one point, and then the Skrulls elevated him because they were friends with him. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm done.
It's a disappointment. And Disney Plus, I don't know what they're doing.
I never know what she's doing back there.
The 6-episode arcs, aren't working for all these shows. It either feels too rushed or definitely not enough time. It worries me a little for what we're about to talk about on the rundown.
If you watch Secret Invasion, once you're done, you're going to go, really? They're striking for more pay? Do they deserve it?
Oh, that's a hot take.
Did you see Dial of Destiny?
Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right.
How many of those are writers' issues, and how many of those are studio people meddling in that stuff? That's what I really. That's always the big question. Yeah, that's always the big question: is how much of the studio meddling in these things is really kind of what's going on.
I think it's the studios hiring bad writers for different reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the studios hiring the cheapest thing possible.
Like when a studio hires a writer for a show called Witcher, and the writer goes, "I hate The Witcher." Also, probably should have hired that person.
Well, isn't that what they? Isn't that kind of what they did
for this game, or don't watch, or don't read this?
Yeah,
isn't that what they hired for She-Hulk or something? Like they hired people that had never.
Yeah, like people that hate comic books.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I don't remember that story, but There's definitely stuff like The Last of Us when they told
Ellie
Bella Ramsey not to play the video game.
I was advised not to play the game, but I just watched some of the gameplay there, secretly.
I think it was the director. They told the director of Secret Invasion not to read the comic book.
Yeah. They're like, don't read the comic book. You're going to like that way more than what we're telling you to do.
Boy, the trajectory is not good for the MCU right now.
I didn't really have. I mean, there wasn't anything that Mark said that I wasn't going to say. Like, it was disappointing because I was really excited for this series. I really was looking forward to it, and it just got worse as it kind of went along. But
Progressively.
So yeah, there really wasn't anything there.
All right. Speaking of Disney Plus, though, we'll start with him on the rundown.
This rundown better be really good. What the hell is a rundown? There's the rundown you asked for.
Okay, first on the rundown, we have Donald Glover's Lando Calrissian.
Captain Lando Calrissian
is going to be returning in his own Disney Plus TV series. He will be writing it with his brother Steven Glover. Both co-wrote Atlanta on FX, which I never watched but heard good things.
Yeah, I heard it's great.
Erik, I'll start with you.
I can't do this with a straight face.
Are you excited for a Disney Plus Lando Calrissian TV show?
Nope.
Really? Why not?
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I tried to get out of that without smiling.
I will just say Donald Glover.
He thinks all dogs are boys and all cats are girls.
There's no way to disprove that. Have you ever seen a cat penis?
He is an immensely talented dude. Like, really, really talented.
I'll be at the movies with my booby.
You're not taking both of them?
Well, one's dead.
What?
I have a feeling that he'll probably do a terrific job.
You can yell at me all you want. I've seen enough movies to know that popping the back of a raft makes it go faster.
With him and his brother writing it and putting that together, I think that'd be pretty good. And his style and charm and swagger with
All right, who did a butt?
They're boobs. And I don't know.
the Lando stuff, I honestly think that'd probably be fine too, if you will. I don't know. Like, I just want to move on from anything related to those other, like, I don't want to go back and see more of Lando. I just want to move on to some new Star Wars stuff. That's all. Which, like, with the Mandalorian, that was cool because it was Boba Fett, but not Boba Fett. Because you still got the armor, but you got a totally different person inside there, different personality, different code of ethics, different character altogether. So
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
I'm okay. Let's move on. Let's move on from the trilogy. Let's not resurrect any additional characters or anything like that. Let's just move into, next series. I'll tell you what, make a Mara Jade series. Like, everybody's going nuts for stuff like that. Make a Mara Jade series. It's a character that's there. You can build off of it. You can show how she was trained and all that stuff and just go from there or something. I don't know. Just do something.
Do something! Do something!
Do something different. I think that's why the Ahsoka stuff interests me, because, again, it's not a character that was in any of the prequels or the trilogy or anything like that. It's got no history. She's got really no history with any of that stuff. So yeah, let's just do it.
It's like NBC during the summer growing up.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
If you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
right.
It's new to me.
I enjoyed Solo, and I have zero hype for this. Morg, are you on the same plane?
It's just too late. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Troy.
Abed in these little misadventures.
Take that back. Our adventures are very manly. Whoa.
He's a nerd. Like, he can do, I'm confident he can do it right if he's given permission to.
Then you were born 21 years ago.
Which would make me 20, because everyone is 10 for 2 years.
I just don't have hope. There's something we're going to talk about later that I'm very cautiously optimistic about now, just because of Disney's track record at the moment. And I haven't been begging for a Lando movie.
Liked him. I just never was like, oh, I need to see more of Lando. I mean, and like I said, Solo was a good surprise. I enjoyed that movie.
190 years old? You look great.
Still haven't seen it, but
it honestly, I waited till I didn't have to pay for it. I waited till I was able to I need to kill a couple hours. And I watched it. I was like, Banana, you got to watch this.
It wasn't that
even
bad,
she liked it. So
it's a very, it's just going through
expectations.
Yeah. Exactly. Low, and you go in, just go, okay, that was just a fun one-off, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's wise to keep our expectations low, Commander.
We'll see. I did love Troy's character arc from like a beginning. He was like this jock, and then he turned into this total nerd throughout the entire show. I loved that character.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you rewatch that show, you're like, Troy might have the most laughs in the entire show.
Who's smoking a cigarette?
I know what you were doing. I'm 21 years old. I'm a man.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
he definitely does.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
He's great in that.
Yeah, of course. Troy and Abed in the morning is just forever
Yeah.
amazing.
Troy and Abed and Annie in the morning.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing, my ass. What are all these cameras doing here?
All right, next on the rundown, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem released their final trailer. We also got first reactions and first reviews of the movie. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Don't exaggerate. 94.
Pretty much every review I read was that it's a very funny movie. You excited for this, Eric?
I am actually. I'm a little curious. I think it looks really funny. I think I don't know what kind of story we're doing here because they haven't really revealed much as far as plot and stuff like that is concerned. But I'm okay with it. I guess my only hang up here and it's just because I'm not much of an animation type person.
Yeah.
Not sure how easy it's going to be for people to watch that style of animation for a full, like you can watch a 2-minute trailer of that style of animation and it's fine. But I'm just curious how it'll hold up with an audience for a longer period of time. So I don't know if it'll be distraction or whether or not people will just roll with it. But I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I think it's really cool how the animation is, but I'm just unsure that the audiences are going to be like, oh yeah, that's awesome for an hour and a half, so however long it is or whatever, like it may be distracting to them. So we'll see. But other than that, I think it looks cool. I laughed my butt off, a couple of times in there. I think the kids sound terrific that they've got in there. And then it sound like after this trailer here kind of released more of the supporting casts and the voices that are going to be manning those, manning those people. And holy smokes, it's got a crazy cast for voices and stuff. So that I was a little surprised at that because I knew Jackie Chan was in there, but I did not know some of those other voices were going to be in there. So that's pretty exciting.
I saw something about how that was kind of a negative because that reviewer spent the entire movie being like, "Who is that? Who is that?"
Oh yeah, I could see.
Fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
But okay, interesting observation about the animation because, as you know, Spider-Man across or into the Spider-Verse and across Spider-Verse really is what set the tone for that, and it's done very well for itself. So Morgan,
I
share
think
that sentiment.
I think the animation is something that's helping draw me into it even more. No pun intended.
Somehow, you always manage.
I think it looks pretty good. I like that it's like I like movies that try to do that comic, like you're actually watching a comic on the big screen. So I'm looking forward to it. I think this is gonna be going to take my son too. I think it's gonna be fine. I'm hoping it's just a goofy movie and they're fighting other creatures like themselves. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to see it.
Another piece of the reviews that I saw was they don't go through the origin, which I'm great with.
I don't need that. Yeah.
And
everybody knows at this point.
They just pick up the story, and I'm like, that's great. We don't need to see the origin, so I don't know how that can be.
We pretty much get it in the one trailer when they're talking to April. It's like done. Yeah, so we know that's it. It's gonna take a second.
Ooze.
Mystery goo.
Well, we prefer the term ooze, but yeah.
It's like more like, it's just nicer.
It rolls off the tongue better, yeah.
Ooze. It's nice, right? It's ooze.
I can't wait for that movie. I heard it's got some Seth Rogen humor in it, so to see.
He was in.
That's pretty good.
That was, wasn't it? I thought it was too.
Off topic, he was in the news as far as talking about Marvel and DC and why he hadn't been in any of that stuff, and he, flat out was like, I've been scared. Like I've just been afraid to go into that stuff, which I found refreshingly mature of him, to be like, that's a big commitment. And
I'm also happy about it though, because I don't want him in my MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong was like the max. Like it did it well, very well, and it like fit the
and
character.
We're gonna get God knows how many more movies with him as Donkey Kong. So
yeah, and I don't need the Seth Rogen laugh permeating throughout my Marvel movies. Well, very excited for that. It's coming out here in a week or two, I think. I don't have the exact date on me, but soon. Very excited for that. Next on the rundown, we have the success of Barbie has empowered Mattel. maybe not so much for the better, but they immediately greenlit this week Lena Dunham. Not a fan. Lena Dunham, Polly Pocket.
I don't know why people are.
I honestly don't.
Yeah, like who likes Lena Dunham? Like I don't know. Like
apparently the head of Mattel.
People in Mattel, yeah,
said that he is a big fan of Lena Dunham.
Oh, all right.
Anyway, she's creating a Polly Pocket movie, which means I will have to see it because my daughters love Polly Pocket. And it's going to star Lily Collins from Emily in Paris fame. Okay. And then the next piece of this is that the list of Mattel properties that are now in active development, various stages of active development. Uno, the card game, which I'd like to see how they visualize that into a movie. Barney, the big purple dinosaur that we all grew up with as kids Barney
is a dinosaur from our imagination, and when he's tall, he's what we call a dinosaur sensation. Kill me!
Nightmares about that getting
surprised it's taking this long for Barney.
Yeah. Wishbone, Magic 8 Ball, American Girl, the doll, Thomas the Tank Engine, and Rock'em Sock'em Robots, which is basically what was
Real
it?
Steel?
Real Steel.
Real Steel?
Real Steel, yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
With Hugh with Wolverine.
And more apparently, but Eric, unpack all of that for me.
I know you're excited about this, Eric.
Yeah, I can't wait for Polly Pockets and all this other bullshit. This is gonna fall badly for Mattel. Like I just don't see them. I don't see this stuff converting to the dollar signs that they expect them to fall into. Barbie is a lightning in a bottle type situation. Like she is an I wouldn't even say lightning in a bottle. She is an icon unlike anything else. And to make a movie like they've made with her is one thing, but I don't think nobody's gonna go, you know what I really want to see is that Uno movie, because that just looks terrific.
What's that plot even about? Like,
right, what would you even I don't know, like maybe it's an Uno tournament in Vegas and
Eddie, this place is great. They don't have any of these games at the Mirage.
That's a high stakes Uno tournament.
High stakes Uno tournament.
It's essentially Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Uno.
So, I mean, it's a clandestine buy agency called Uno, and
now we're
theory
crafting, and I like it.
Yeah. So who knows? I just don't.
What do you think Barney will be?
Well, Barney, you could do an animation. You could do Barney in an animation or something like that, and
It'll be CG.
That'll do well with the little kids. That part's gonna do pretty well. The Polly Pocket stuff, again, keep the budget low. Don't go too crazy, and kids will go see that. The kids and stuff that are used to.
I feel Polly Pocket's going to be along the lines of the storyline of Barbie.
Yeah,
it's my imagination.
Oh yeah, well, with it being
Lena Dunham,
there is a synopsis for it already. Actually,
really?
Yeah, it says. Polly Pocket will reportedly follow a young girl and a pocket-sized woman who form a friendship, and that's it.
Brilliant.
So I
brilliant as always, Lena.
It's gonna be bad.
How long did it take you to do that while you're on the toilet?
No, I was just shaving.
Yeah.
It's gonna be about this pocket-sized person. Oh, really?
Brilliant. Dynamite again, Lena. How do you come up with this stuff?
Dynamite drop-in money at broadcast school has really paid off.
That story, I was like, I can't wait to hear Eric unpack.
It's gonna fail. I agree with her. I won't call it a fluke. I mean, it's Barbie. You're gonna see it. I think they marketed it like crazy. They did a great job. They didn't tell anybody what it's really about. I think Polly Pocket isn't gonna draw in Barbie numbers.
No.
Everybody knows Barbie. I don't care who you are.
Right. Men, women.
Everybody knows Barbie. Yeah.
We'll go through the list. Uno, not a chance.
Okay.
Wishbone, not a chance. I don't even know what that is. Magic 8 Ball. No
the
thanks.
Wishbone is somebody's going to break a wish
Well,
and get a wish.
How is that a Mattel thing? I get that
Magic
with my
8
turkey
Ball
every single year at Thanksgiving.
Magic 8 Ball could have potential if like the Magic 8 Ball actually controls what you say or something. Like that has potential. But
there's potential there. American Girl, get out of here.
Yeah. Well, American. So American Girl. They already have American Girl movies that they've made, and they don't do very well. They're pretty much direct to video, and they're low budget stuff. So granted, that may be one thing, but I don't know.
It's all this is all supposed to be live action.
Yeah, and then Thomas the Tank.
Are we gonna get the Major Payne story?
They're gonna do something again, maybe an animation there. You could probably do something cool with Thomas the Tank Engine. Maybe a live action,
but not live action.
A live action CGI with the.
It's going to be like Lion King, live action.
It's live action, but it's really just computer animation. So don't fool yourself, into thinking that it's live action. It's not live action. All it is computer generated images.
I don't believe that two trains are literally talking to each other. Of course, there's
but they called like Lion King. They called Lion King a live action movie, and it's not. It's not a live action movie. It's
not even an actual human in it at all.
Yeah, it's a CGI movie.
Believe that those animals were talking to you, then that's on you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and Rock'em Sock'em Robots, like you guys said earlier, that's pretty much already been done. So
I bet you there's got to be some label on that Lion King movie that's like live action does not mean actual, so they can't get sued.
Until that day. Next on the rundown, we're starting to see some of the strikes take effect on Hollywood release dates. And per usual with the release dates, it's not the dates that's the actual story. It's maybe something that it's going to be, going up against now. Or maybe it's been moved back 2 days. Like Madam Web moved back 2 days. It's not much. Now it's on Valentine's Day. One of the big ones was Kraven the Hunter, which we did a reaction for. Check that out on the channel.
Oh, you just figured that out now?
So Kraven the Hunter moved from October of this year to August of next year because they want their Rockstar cast to market the movie, which they can't right now.
It seems they're on some sort of strike.
Another big one was Bad Boys 4. Is now releasing in June of next year, June 14th of 2024, and is going to be going up against Inside Out 2. So that'll be an interesting thing.
When was that supposed to?
Title. It didn't give me a previous release date in the article I was reading, so I don't know, but it sounded like it was springtime. So it'd be like a February, March release. And then Ghostbusters Afterlife went from December of this year to March of next year. So that we have to wait just a little bit longer.
We knew that was going to move. There's no way they were going to have that done anyway.
Yeah. And also along those lines was Across the Spider-Verse is now to be determined.
So now it's TBD.
How do you end Across the Spider-Verse the way you end it and not have the third film written and ready to go? I'm just so annoyed. And if this is about marketing, all right, what goes into marketing?
Marketing, super.
So show me some commercials. That's all I ever watch to go see a movie. I'm never like, I better follow each actor and see every interview they're freaking doing. You know what I mean? Like trailers, that's what everybody watches anyway. That'll be enough. I don't think it's really going to hurt. I don't know. I'm just frustrated by all of it. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it won't hurt the box office of Across the Spider-Verse, absolutely, but it hurts us. We have to wait now for that.
Kraven the Hunter. How much marketing is really going to save that? People are knowing it's a Sony Marvel that's not actually Spider-Man. It's going to do what it's going to do.
Honestly, I think it's going to lose box office being at the end of the summer next year, more so October 6th of this year, which is when Loki comes out. Eric, any thoughts here on any of these storylines?
Well, it just is. It reminds me that the Kraven the Hunter moving from October 6th to August 30th of the following year reminds me of the line from Tropic Thunder where they're like, you know, 3 days into the thing, it's already 2 months behind schedule. You know, it's like, how is that even a thing? Like, well, it was gonna come on October 6th, but we're pushing it back because we want our guys to be able to promote it.
Okily dokily.
Are you kidding me? Like, what? That's like you could literally refilm the entire movie in that time.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
Might
Like,
be doing some of that. They might have seen that trailer and been like, all right, you gotta figure this stuff out. Wait till the strike.
yeah, really. Maybe they were like, shit, did you guys see that trailer for the Spider-Man 2 video game?
Yeah.
And they're doing Craven. Guys, why are we not communicating with departments here at Sony?
They're dumb now. They should have put this Craven out before that Craven. And they did. They had it because it was October 20th for Spider-Man 2. You'd have 2 weeks in the theaters.
Once we get that Craven, I'm sorry, Quicksilver, you're not going to be able to compare.
Why am I not running a studio? I've got ideas.
Dude, I get these ideas. I got so many ideas burning through my skull, buddy.
Well, Bad Boys. Well, you know, that's a great point, Mort, because that's what James Gunn and Safran are trying to do. Is they are trying to coordinate all of that stuff across all of the platforms to make sure that they don't miss opportunities, just like what you're talking about. They want to have all the video games manned by the same people. They want to have creative control all the way through that, which I think is brilliant. So, because like you said, I mean, it's a missed opportunity for sure in there. So,
hear that, Disney? I'm just as good as James Gunn, and you need to replace him.
I will just say this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is not by any means the end of this. So Madam Web moving 2 days, maybe more than that by the time this thing's over. I have a feeling this is going to go a while. And I think you're going to see a lot of stuff start to tumble out of places, or Tom Cruise will be successful in carving out.
Help me, Tom Cruise!
He'll lose his own Paramount.
Yeah.
There's one man who can do it.
Yeah,
it's John Krasinski.
I want to end it on a positive with that. I think this is going to be positive.
Good point.
I think we're going to start to see a rise in much more indie stuff and people getting chances with scripts that normally they wouldn't have because of, you know, just the way it was and how they wanted to hire the big people.
Yeah.
I think we can see some positive out of this. I think we might see some bangers.
Good point. What was it, A24, right? I think A24 is still able to do their movies because they've given in to the demands.
And anyone that's technically non-union, I don't know if that's how that all works.
Well, interesting bit. I don't know if you guys covered it last week or not. British productions are still taking place because they are not members of the SAG. They can still film, and their crews are all manned by, you know, British people and stuff like that. So my understanding is that some stuff that's being filmed overseas, like Game of Thrones stuff, still can proceed because they're technically British.
I'm actually British.
You know, pretty much the whole cast and everything is British, and they can continue to work.
Oh man!
So we may be in for some more British accents.
Well, I was going to say, get your best British accent out right now. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I do. By British.
Oh, that wasn't bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, more.
Oi, governor. Hey, governor. Give me some tea. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I did watch
everyone across the pond.
Spot on.
I did watch some Oppenheimer this weekend, and it was quite good. And it starred that one fella, Gary Oldman, as Harry Truman.
You got a little my cocaine in there.
My cocaine.
That's the British accent I do. He was like, "Can you do a British accent?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." My cocaine.
My cocaine.
Shat on a turtle.
What's the one the line from Wayne's World where the guy's like, "We were doing a show in India.
Oh yeah.
We had to go to a sweet shop before Ozzy would go on stage. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes." And he's like, "Hey, who's the old lady?" "That's my old lady."
That's my old lady.
And there I am in Sri Lanka, formerly Ceylon, at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking for 1,000 brown M&Ms to fill a brandy glass, or Ozzy wouldn't go on stage that night. So, Jeff Beck pops his head round the door and mentions there's a little sweet shop on the edge of town.
Oh, anytime we can bring up Wayne's World, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say James Gunn is a freaking genius. Recently, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out. All the reaction channels, do their, they save their viewing of the movie for the channel. And so I've watched a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 lately. That movie is quite possibly the funniest movie I've ever seen. How it stays funny. Mantis and Drax do not waste a single line in the movie.
Yep. They're terrific. But the whole part where they're on that surface they're waiting to try and break into that place, and he's on the open mic, and he's on and Drax is like, we could hear everything that you're saying.
It was Mantis, yeah.
Mantis. We could hear everything that you're saying. And he saw and Drax is, and it is.
I don't think so, Quinn.
Quill.
I don't think so.
Well, what I'm trying to say is...
Peter, you know this is an open line, right?
What?
We're listening to everything you're saying.
And it is painful.
And you're just telling me now?
We were hoping it would stop on its own.
But I switched it over to private.
What color button did you push?
Blue, for the blue suit.
Oh, no.
Blue is the open line for everyone.
Orange is for blue.
What?
Black is for orange. Yellow is for green. Green is for red, and red is for yellow.
No, yellow is for yellow. Green is for red, red is for green.
I don't think so.
Try it then.
You were right.
I love
blue is green, red is blue.
Yeah, right. It's intuitive. Like,
and he's like,
how's that intuitive?
I just love it. Drax, he's like, yeah, go ahead, try it. And then
Yeah,
she's
right.
like, hello. That's when that movie's at its absolute best, is when they're the banter between the Guardians. Like when they're sitting at the dinner table with the
alien folks,
the beasts, the animal half breeds, and they're arguing over like. They're having like 3 different conversations. Like
Drax is constantly trying to lay down.
Trying to lay down. It has more than one purpose. Like,
it's a very nice painting.
Or even,
can I take it to put up in my apartment?
The thing I love about James Gunn is he'll weave a thread through the entire stuff, and so it's great. So you have that beginning where it's Nathan Fillion's talking to the 2 security guys, and he says, it's like this, and he goes, you know what I'm talking about, right? And he goes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. He's like, I just made that up, and he goes, I thought you said something else, and then later on he's sorry, my friend's an idiot. He goes, I get it. I got one myself.
Yeah, I got one myself.
And the second time he says it, it's even better, because he's like, I get it. He drags it out a little bit. I get it. I got one of those too. He's like how literal Mantis and Drax can be when Peter's like, people die when they're like 50. People die when they're 50.
Yeah.
Are you
about to die? Yeah.
You're about to die.
50.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. He's so good. He's so good, and you could tell the whole cast has such great chemistry with each other off camera that when they turn the thing on, everything is just that one scene. We the kids and I say it all the time.
That's right, we're gonna break in.
We kill anyone who gets in our way.
Not kill anyone.
Kill a few people.
Kill no people.
Kill one guy, one stupid guy who no one loves.
Now you're just making it sad.
So funny.
Now you're just making it dark. Oh man, yeah. There's just the humor in those movies. Just they get me, and they're really good. Yes. Speaking of humor that would totally get me as a kid, and even to this day, somebody we grew up with here on this channel. Paul Rubin has passed away. You would know Paul Rubin as Pee Wee Herman. If you didn't know him as Pee Wee Herman, then you for sure knew him as the Penguin's dad in Batman Returns, which he didn't even have a speaking part. It's such a weird cameo. Pee Wee Herman. He has passed away at the age of 70, I believe it was.
Yeah,
70.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Had
he was
a
70.
long battle with cancer, from what I understand. So.
Yeah.
He also played a vampire in Buffy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he was brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
He was so good as the villain in that one. A really funny guy. I saw a ton of tributes online about him. I still remember seeing Pee Wee Herman for the first time, and the Large Marge scene, where he walks in there and he goes, "Hey, Large Marge sent me," and everybody's just like, "What?" He was so good in that movie, and just a unique guy. My understanding. like in the tributes that I saw online, one of the things that he had loved to do was, and he knew when everybody's birthday was, and he would always text them on their birthday and overload like 20 or 25 memes, about their birthday and all that stuff. And so he would do it every year. And you can tell like how, I think you can kind of judge people by what the stories people tell, like after they are dead and stuff. He was well liked. He was a well liked guy and seemed like a very nice person. A guy that I follow on Twitter, he posted something. He's not even like a famous person in any way, shape, or form. He had a blog that I used to read a long time ago and everything. And he said he ran into Paul Reubens at a party one night a few years back. And he said that he was so kind and generous with his time, and he talked comedy with this guy all night long. They just had such a great conversation about comedy and stuff. So
that's cool.
I almost feel like we should pay tribute to him by not doing his laugh, because I don't want.
Oh, I can't even attempt it.
It's such an iconic.
Thought we were gonna say the secret word.
Yeah, the secret word. That's right, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I mean, what, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and what was the sequel called?
Big Top Pee-wee.
Big Top Pee-wee.
Just movies watched a ton as a kid.
Remember the Mecca Lecca High, Mecca Ho.
Yep.
Mecca lecca high, mecca hiney ho. Mecca lecca high, mecca hiney ho.
So thank you, Paul Rubin.
While we're on this thing of rest in peace, I would like to. A friend of mine passed away on Saturday. A guy that I graduated from high school.
Jeez,
his name was Randy McClellan. No, thanks. I appreciate that. So Randy and I went to high school together, and he was one of the most genuinely nice people you'll ever meet in your entire life. He just was so sweet, and just an all-around nice person that just, always was the kind of thinking about other people and trying to make other people laugh. And he was, I don't know if he was, I wouldn't call him a sales guy, because he's not like he wasn't like a salesperson in that, but he could walk into a room and just like light up everybody in that room and just make you feel like you were the only person there. And he would just make you feel tremendously special. And I had the good fortune of working with him after we graduated from high school and stuff. He came to work at a company that I worked at, and I loved having him around, and then we kind of grew apart after I got laid off, and he stayed with the company. I kind of moved around, but his family was always big into Halloween. And when I say Halloween, like they were big into Halloween, I'm not kidding you. Like their entire front yard, this is before people like went overboard on everything. His family went overboard on every Halloween. They had caskets. I remember I played a dead person one year for Halloween. I sat in the casket and I hopped over the thing, because I could always do the Tales from the Crypt laugh, but and so I would pop that up and do the Tales from the Crypt laugh to everybody and stuff. And so all of his buddies, he would get all of his buddies to man different places in his front yard to scare people as they came in and all this stuff.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. And him and his brother Ryan, they started a haunted house at the Mile High Flea Market here in Denver. And so for many, many years, he did one of the haunted houses that was out there. And I know that was his dream. I know that that's all he wanted to do. He wanted to do creature stuff. They wanted to make masks and scare people. They loved scaring the bejesus out of people. Like it was just so much fun for him. So, anyhow, I just wanted to, if you listen to the show and you happen to have known Randy McClellan, great. If you didn't know him, I'm sorry that you didn't, because he really was a good person. And I'm praying for his family and stuff as they kind of go through this, but at the same time, you're a good dude, man. And I hope to see you at some point in the future, Randy. So thanks.
Thank you, Erik, for that beautiful story. Rest in peace to Paul Reubens and to your friend, his name,
Randy.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Randy.
Next time, don't stand on the tracks when the train's coming through.
First up on the train, we have The Exorcist Believer. And yes, it is a sequel to the 1973 film about a 12-year-old girl who is possessed by a mysterious demonic entity, forcing her mother to seek the help of two priests to save her. I watched the trailer and I've seen enough. So, is this a?
No, I'm not too big into horror. Like
that's right.
October, Halloween time. Yeah,
Yes.
like I do want to get some stuff in, but I especially don't like demon stuff. I don't like things that like I can't kill it. So like, because there's no chance. What do you do? You can't kill it. You just die. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it looks scary. It looks terrifying, but I'm not going to go to theaters to see it. Maybe I'll watch it someday when it's free.
My gosh, you're gonna have to pay me to watch this one, Eric.
Yeah, I'm not in for this. Like, I'm not a scary movie person at all. I watched that trailer and I was like, I looked over at my brother because we watched it for, I think it was before Oppenheimer. We saw it, and I looked over at my brother and I, nope.
Yeah, it's like,
if I would have watched that in the theater, I would have.
This.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, when she
terrible.
comes walking down that aisle. Ooh.
Yeah.
And now there's two of them.
Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, that's even better, right?
Of course, they went bigger for the sequel. It's a long time coming. The mother is back though. What's her name? Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah,
the actress from the original. So a thread there. The next one is also a trailer for a movie that I am not going to see, but not because it scares me, but it's not my thing. Saw 10. I think Saw X. Is it? Is it the 10th?
I think it's Saw 10.
Yeah.
It's 10.
Right. So it's
is it the new Twitter?
Good timing on that one.
Yeah.
Synopsis on this one is John Kramer. Yes. Tobin Bell, the actor, is back. John Kramer is back. The most disturbing installment. I don't know how that's even possible. The most disturbing installment of the Saw franchise yet explores the untold chapter of Jigsaw's most personal game. Set between the events of Saw 1 and 2, a sick and desperate John travels to Mexico for a risky and experimental medical procedure in hopes of a miracle cure for his cancer. The Saw movies aren't my thing.
Yeah, same. No interest. Nope.
There's a fan base out there for this movie.
And they love it. They're like rabid dogs, man. They love this genre, and I just don't.
I've seen the first one because Gary Ellis was in it.
Oh, that's right. I do remember Gary Ellis. Yeah, but no, I don't. You know. I remember the Saw movies. It's not the Saw movies that make me remember Saw movies. It's the Scary Movie series that makes me remember that. Like where they.
Yes,
Dr. Phil and Shaq or whatever.
The Shack where they hand him the saw, and they're like, Shaq's, in order to get the saw down, he has to make a free throw, and it's like,
I saw the first three. I didn't mind the first one. I thought it was cool. The twist, which is now famous, was a great twist.
Yeah.
The second, third one, all right. And then I just didn't care anymore, and I just stopped watching it.
Okay, so what's the second, third one then? Like, did they come up with twists in that one? Like, yeah.
Yeah, there was some good twists. There was, and I think that's why I liked them. There were some that were like kind of a play on they were there the whole time, but it's completely different. There were some good twists in it. But like this, so it's in between the first and the second. Well, the first movie is all about how he's trying to get people to appreciate life in a morbid way. He's crazy, obviously. But so then him going to try to fix the tumor is like, well, that's going to completely erase everything you were like weird fan your goal was, and now he's doing it out of personal, like we're trying to feel bad for him because they didn't remove his tumor. He's a freaking serial killer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. Again, there's a fan base out there for it, so enjoy it. Yeah. Enjoy it, you Saw nerds. We'll call you.
Yep.
Next on the train is Spy Kids Armageddon. So they're bringing the Spy Kids franchise back. It does star Zachary Levi, which gives me a little bit of hope. I'm sure this is just going to be one of those movies that we watch on family movie night, and it's like going to be on for the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
Were you a fan of the original, Eric?
No, I wasn't. I'll clarify that. When they first came out, I was not a fan of them at all. Like I had no interest in them whatsoever. My children, however, when they started watching them, they loved them. And the first movie I did not enjoy all that much, even after they watched it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But the second one, I actually did enjoy. You know, the guys running around with the thumbs.
See if they know where the brain room is.
What's his name? No.
Antonio Banderas?
Antonio Banderas.
Isn't there one with Stallone? Where
Yeah.
Stallone's the bad guy?
And no, and the bad guy in the one I watched was actually, what's his name from Entourage? Shoot, what's his name?
Jeremy Piven?
Jeremy Piven, yes. He was the villain in that one. So
Think of it like the Holocaust. Never again.
Stallone
time
was
one.
in Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
For using me.
Devlin set us up? It's not Devlin.
All I wanted to do was right the wrongs.
Yeah.
I may or may not have watched it.
I appreciate them for what they are. You know, they are fun, do not take themselves too seriously, which I think is terrific, you know. So I have come to learn to appreciate those movies.
I know now why you cry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I just didn't realize Shazam did that bad that Zachary Levi's gonna do a Spy Kid movie now.
I mean, I don't think he made it in the time that that Shazam 2 flopped, but here's the synopsis. It does say this: the children of the world's greatest secret agents unwittingly help a powerful game developer unleash a computer virus that gives them control of all technology, leading them to become spies themselves to save their parents and the world. That old tale, you know? Next on the rundown, we're going to finish strong here with the movie Strays. Is a... Talk about a twist. I started this trailer and I was like, oh, this will be a fun movie to go watch, you know, with my daughters in the theater. Nope.
No.
So the synopsis real quick is: an abandoned dog teams up with other strays to get revenge on his former owner. Okay. Jamie Foxx, Will Ferrell are the two main dogs. And my gosh, when they come across that couch and
the couch. Oh,
I was like, okay, this movie is one of those movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think of it? I'll start with you, Morgan. What do you think of Strays?
I mean, I think it looks hilarious. I am a little nervous they might go just too over the top with it. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, yeah, this is funny, but then they're just going to do something outrageous every 2 seconds. And it's like, all right, now it's just over the top with the humor. But like, I laughed the whole trailer. I mean, I think it's going to be funny. It'll come to HBO or something at some point, you know, Max, and that's when I'll watch it. You know, I'm not going to go to theater or anything for this or pay for it outside of what I already pay for with subscriptions.
Yeah, no, okay, all right. Eric, do you think you'll go see this one?
This one reminds me of that movie Sausage Party. You know, like it starts out as like an animation thing, and you think, oh, this would be a good kids thing, and then it just goes violently in the wrong direction. You know, So this one, same thing. I was like, oh, kids, this looks like a good one, and then I was like, nope. Because we have a saying around the house, you know, like, oh, well, that's an R movie. And then Amelia or Jackson will go, is it R or is it hard R? And I'll be like, this is a hard R.
That's a hard R.
Yeah, I guess you can go watch Die Hard.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just an R movie. It's not a hard R movie, but yeah. So yeah, it looked really funny though. I really did enjoy the trailer, and I'm with Morg. Not going to see that one in the theater, but I will definitely have that on at some point when no kids are around that I can, you know, watch and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just like when you're like, I need to laugh.
Yeah.
I need a new laugh. All right, we've got a really fun nerd box question, so let's hop into the nerd box.
Okay, I will now take questions from the audience.
As you guys know, we have a really great sponsor for the show, Combat the Chaos. Try to sport their gear on all of our shows as much as we possibly can, because they're great people and they have a great company, and it's really important to support our veterans and our first responders. And they love sending in Nerdbox questions. And when they do, they like to really ramp them up. Some I can't put on here, but there's some good ones, and I really appreciate and love both Mark and Libby Donahue. So here's their rapid fire questions, and then there's a real one from Libby, which is a really great question. So first up is rapid fire on these ones. If you could have powers of invisibility for 24 hours, what would you do with it, Eric?
Probably drive somebody's, like, a really fast car, like somebody's like, I go to a dealership and maybe That's what I do. I think it'd be so much fun to, driving up the lot, and then hopefully they don't bust me for it. So, yeah.
I mean, how are they going to find you?
Exactly.
Okay, Morgan?
With it being 24 hours, since I don't have it's just a superpower that I have forever, I'm going to do nothing good. I'm going to be up to no good. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to haunt the crap out of some people for a day.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up ruining some family's life. Is what I'll end up doing.
Yeah, this is a good time to get some revenge on some people, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think I would do that. If I had some people that I want to get some revenge on, I would just go, man, I'd go mess with them. I think that'd be fun. The next question is, if you had to have one superhero live in your home full time, superpowers and all, who would it be and why? I'll start with you, Erik.
Who's the stretch guy? The guy that can
Mr. Fantastic?
Mr. Fantastic, yeah. I probably have him around just because probably get things that I don't need a ladder for, be like, hey man, could you?
I need to get in the attic again. Can you go up there?
This drain right here clogs all the time. You think you could just get down in there and just pull out whatever's in there for
You'd
me?
be like, I guess it's time to go hang the Christmas lights. I'll go get the ladder.
Yeah.
Just wait for them to be like, fine.
Yeah. Yep.
And are we talking they live with us in our current situation?
Yeah. Yep, they moved in with you.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think the Flash. I'd like that.
I was gonna say Quicksilver. Quicksilver was on my mind because he could just clean this.
Exactly, he could just everything in a second.
Mow the lawn.
I need to go anywhere. He just
dishes.
holds on to my head, and we're just, we could go travel anywhere. Hell, if I need to go back in time because I messed up in Call of Duty, we can go back in time. And
how many times have you gone to the grocery store and you come back and your wife is like, "Did you get this text message that I sent you?" And I'm like, "Nope, didn't get that
every time.
Just now, right now." Every single time. Pietro, get up. Next question, rapid fire is: do you have a comic book character on your hall pass list? Or I guess if you, it's not like, hey, Banana, I'm putting Jean Grey on my hall pass list. She doesn't exist. But if there's a woman that you could put on your hall pass list, who would it be? Whom would it be? Morgan, I'll start with you.
Mystique, obviously. Duh. I mean, if I get a comic book character, I'm going to get the comic book character that gets to be every comic book character.
I don't know how you can come up with a better answer than that, Erik.
Funny enough, I can't, because that is actually who I selected for mine was Mystique as well.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, it just makes sense. It really does. I will say non-comic book character, if I wanted to go with a sci-fi-ish, I mean, I guess Buck Rogers was a comic book character at one point. So, but Aaron Gray, who played Wilma Deering in Buck Rogers, the 1980 series, holy smokes, she was so hot. And I'm sure Captain Dunsel will.
I was just thinking Captain
Dunsel. He will probably chime in on that one, I'm sure. Hopefully he concurs on that one. But oh my gosh, she's smoking hot.
He's probably wondering which way you were going with that.
Yeah, smoking hot. So.
I get it. I mean, I'm gonna go in your realm on the first question, Erik, and I'll choose Miss Invisible.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. For obvious reasons.
Down, and there in the sand was a copy of your book. It's like a sign. Like your book was calling out to me.
So the real question comes in, Ms. Libby Donahue, thank you very much for sending this in. Great question. If you had to leave a book in the sand for someone to find and read, what would it be and why? Start with you. I'll start with you, Mark.
Honestly, Jurassic Park. Because I love Jurassic Park when I read it. Better than the movies, I think. They did some things in the movies a little bit better, but Jurassic Park, I think, is a good book.
Michael Crichton.
Great. Great author.
You're not going to go wrong with Michael Crichton. So, good answer. Erik, you got a book you're leaving in the sand?
Yeah, I'll probably I really enjoy reading Starship Troopers, Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers. So
selection.
Not anything like the movie is. They just happen to have the same title, but and the same name of some certain characters. But for the most part, it's a really good one. Could also go with Tom Clancy's Hunt for Red October, Red Storm Rising, or
say some Clancy.
Rainbow Six. Clancy's a good one. So yeah,
that's a good pick there. I would leave the Lord of the Rings, which is obviously a trilogy of
Which
books.
one?
Well, if I'm not leaving
four big ones.
I would leave.
I think they have versions where they're all it's all
I
together.
do. It's on a shelf behind me, but but it's technically 3 books. So
it's technically 3 books, but if I could fit them all into one book, which is possible, I would leave that because what an incredible story. It's one of the greatest stories ever told. In my mind, it's probably top 2, 3 story told in my mind.
I don't think a lot of people would argue with you about it.
I think a lot of people would agree.
Yeah, tell Morg's autobiography, because that's what I'm leaving behind.
Yeah.
Have it, please.
The Life of Big Morg 3000.
Great questions. Mark and Libby had a little fun with that one with the rapid fire. But the more important thing is you can save 15% on any purchase at combatthechaos.com by using our discount code NRD nerd. 15% on any purchase. This hat is one of the things you can purchase. They've got other great clothing. So thank you, Mark and Libby, for the fun we had here. And obviously we're going to pick all nerd stuff there. So that's on you if you think we're going to drop something behind that wasn't nerdy. So fun rundown. Thanks, guys. Unfortunately, in the era of this strike stuff, we're going to have to make some content out of nothing and not a lot of big news items. I mean, Lando, okay, big news item, but we had good faith in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. Once Barbie blew up, we knew that was kind of announcement was coming. So I just love talking about this stuff with you guys. So thanks for coming on. Great conversation. Looking forward to a lot more of these kind of conversations over the next few months while we wait for this strike to resolve. Rest in peace, Paul Rubin. Rest in peace, Randy. Great story, Eric. All right, well, with that being said, we'll see you all in the next Nerd Rundown.
See ya. Bye.
What was that?